Hi, everyone. I'm Rachel Tyers, SVP of Marketing and Partnerships at Okendo, and I'd like to welcome you to our Investing in Loyal Customers to Maximize Sales webinar. Right now, common trends in e-commerce are the rising cost of customer acquisition. And so this webinar is really aiming to equip you with strategies to decrease those customer acquisition costs and increase customer lifetime value overall. So today, a little bit of housekeeping. We will be sending a recording out to everyone that joined the call, and please drop any questions into the chat. Our speakers today include Tyler, who's Head of Partnerships at Daasity, Gabe, Director of Customer Success from Omnisend, Andrew, the Group Product Manager at Ordergroove. We have Ria, Partner Manager from Nosto. We also have John Knott, Senior Tech Partnership Manager at Tapcart, and Alex, the Tech Partner Manager at Gorgias. So thank you today to all of our speakers that will be joining us. Now, to kick things off, a little bit about myself. I've been in digital marketing in e-commerce for 12 or 13 years now. My prior background, I was VP of Partnerships at Mute6, the performance marketing agency, and I also co-founded headless e-commerce platform Nasal. And these days, I'm over at Okendo helping merchants scale through customer marketing. A little bit about Okendo. We specialize in turning customers into superfans through reviews, surveys, referrals, and coming later this quarter, quizzes and loyalty as well. We work with over 8,000 Shopify's fastest growing brands. And I like to say, if you've ever bought anything on Shopify, you've probably interacted with Okendo. Now, your most powerful assets are your customers. So in my presentation today, I'm going to show you how to leverage the power of your customer base to acquire new customers, convert shoppers, and increase lifetime value. So let's jump into it. How to acquire new customers. 37% of people are highly influenced to purchase based on family and friend recommendations. And referrals convert at 4x higher than the average rate of all acquisition channels. So a top tip is definitely to generate referrals from your existing customer base. You can ask 5-star reviewers and your NPS promoters to refer their friends. A great idea here is to offer incentives to both the referrer and the recipient, because this encourages new customers to come and try your product, as well as increasing lifetime value from your existing customer base when they come back and utilize that incentive reward. You can also leverage reviews across other channels outside of your website. So definitely make sure if you're advertising on Google, you're syndicating your review content over to your product listing ads. This adds an extra level of social proof to increase that click and conversion. If you're selling on Facebook or Instagram shops on Meta, you can syndicate your review content over to those channels to increase conversion. And same thing with Walmart if you happen to be selling on Walmart.com. Now, 47% of consumers are more likely to click through a social media post or ad if ratings and reviews are highlighted. So a great tip here is to include reviews in the creative of your ads. You can do it simply like this array example, or you can even whip up your ad copy to include review content, or perhaps reference to the number of 5-star reviews your product has. Again, helping to leverage that social proof and that authenticity behind the brand. Now, my final tip in this section is to optimize spend to increase return on ad spend with post-purchase attribution surveys. Here, you can ask your customers directly where they heard about you and optimize your budget based on their responses so that you're able to get more bang for your buck. Next section, convert more customers. So 99.9% of consumers read reviews while shopping online. So it's very important that you showcase robust reviews and social proof on your site to increase conversion. You can use photo and video reviews. You can include customer attributes so that your shoppers are able to align their purchase decision with people that have similar characteristics to them, and therefore they're more likely to convert. You can use product attributes to highlight key selling points of your product or brand, such as flavor, quality, things like that. You can use search filters to shorten the customer journey and increase their chances of checking out. And you can include media galleries to showcase that user-generated content that you're collecting. And a final tip here is to customize your review widget to fit the look and feel of your brand. There's nothing worse than going to a website that just has a cookie cutter basic reviews widget that's the same as hundreds or thousands of other websites. Another interesting stat is that 84% of consumers look at ratings and reviews when making in-store purchases. So this even gives the reviews on site of your website more power. And a tip here, include reviews in your abandoned cart messages or product upsell emails. So you can see in the example on the left here, Jenny Bird has used a reference to over 150 5-star reviews in that image. And then on the right-hand side, Skims is actually dynamically injecting review content and ratings into their abandoned cart message for that specific product. So a really great way to increase social proof. And now increasing lifetime value. So 40% of consumers have purchased something more expensive than planned because their experience was personalized. And I think in e-commerce, we've all been talking about personalization for a few years now, but it's more important than ever with the amount of noise. Personalization can drive a 10 to 15% increase in revenue, studies have shown. So my tip here is to collect zero-party data to power personalized messaging. You can collect the zero-party data by asking customer attributes with your reviews. You can enable post-checkout surveys and capture zero-party data when your consumer sentiment is the highest. You could also use on-site surveys to capture that data, or you can collect customer preferences with quizzes, and you'll be able to do this very soon through Okendo. I have a case study here from WAG. They were collecting information around dog breed, dog age, and eating habits. And then they used those characteristics to create segments and send personalized upsell campaigns to their audience. And with that strategy, they saw a 300% increase in placed order rate and a 423% increase in revenue per recipient. So very impactful numbers here. And incentives are also very good to increase that lifetime value. So you can offer incentives to maximize review and survey completion rates. You can even tier incentives based on your desired action. So if you're looking at driving more reviews, perhaps you offer 10% off for a text review. Maybe it's 15% off if someone includes a photo in their review, and maybe it's 20% off if they include a video. And then you can use all of that content across your other various marketing channels and website, and that content belongs to you. Now, this, of course, encourages shoppers to come back and purchase from you again because they've got that coupon now and they want to make the most of it. I have a case study from GrooveLive who was using our attentive integration. They added SMS review requests alongside the Okendo email review request sequences. With that, they were able to generate more reviews. And because they were generating more reviews, they were sending out more coupons to their customer base. And we actually saw a 53% increase in the return on investment from coupons. So it was a win-win for that situation in GrooveLive. Now, to wrap things up, I would love to offer anyone on the webinar today their first 60 days of Okendo free. You can get this promo across our reviews, surveys, and referral products if you sign up before August 31st. Feel free to reach out to me on LinkedIn, just Rachel Tyers, and I will be happy to organize that deal for you. And with that, I would like to hand over to Gabe from Omnisend. Thanks, everyone.
Awesome. Thanks, everyone. Excited to be here today. So we'll go ahead and get the screen shared. And we are good to go. So yes, my name is Gabe Macaluso. I'm the Director of Customer Success here at Omnisend. And if you don't know who Omnisend is, we are an all-in-one e-commerce marketing platform. So if you're familiar with Klaviyo and the likes, we do the same thing they do with a little bit more heart. We're organically funded. So all of you solopreneurs out there, entrepreneurs, working hard. We understand your pain and where you're going, and we want to help you grow. So our customers are our investors. We're excited to partner with you. So let's just jump right in. So we're talking about building loyalty here. And obviously we're going to focus a lot on email and SMS automation. But step number one is just to introduce yourself. So the very first step, right? Pop up. You can start building loyalty here in terms of how you encourage your customers to interact with your brand. Rachel talked a lot about like, does it fit with your brand voice? How are you reacting and relating to your customers? And the pop-up is a great way to start. So one of my favorite brands that uses Omnisend is Modcat. They do sell litter boxes. So about probably one of the least sexy products you can sell online, but they do a really, really good job with it. And they actually make it kind of sexy, right? Like who doesn't want this litter box in their house? It looks good and that kind of thing. But right off the bat, they kind of talk to you about what you're going to get when you sign up for their list. So you're going to get exclusive access to new products, and you're going to have the best cat litter box health. And they're going to educate you on that. So already they're kind of saying, hey, let's build this relationship together. And that's what loyalty is really about. And it's creating that experience from the get-go. So then as we jump into it, they send out a 3-part welcome series. And I've seen anywhere from 1-part welcome series all the way up to like 12-part welcome series, depending on the product that you're selling, what the price point is, and how much education you need to do to your users. But all that kind of communication that you're going to have with your contacts, again, is all about building that relationship. And that's going to lay your foundation for loyalty as you go on and getting those repeat purchasers. So animals sell, animals and kids usually sell. So when in doubt, just throw a cat, throw a dog in there. You're going to see increased click rates and conversion rates. But they do a lot of fun stuff with this. And of course, puns always work well too if you have a good brand voice. So then you kind of introduce them, you get them to start knowing your brand, and then you got to get them to care, right? Because that's what loyalty is about. So we can have a good first interaction, but why do I care? What's in it for me kind of situation. And we talk about reviews. So Omnisend does integrate with Okendo. You can actually send those Okendo review emails through Omnisend through our automation tool, and they can actually click to submit that review post-purchase. But trying is believing. So let's go right here. You're going to give me something. You're going to give me information. I'm going to give you something back. And that's that two-way relationship that we talk about. So Modcat does a 30-day guarantee sort of situation. If you don't love it, don't worry about it. Send it back. We'll give you your money back. And then we talked about reviews, and I saw there was a question in there, like, how do you validate that these reviews are true? Anytime you're adding a technology to your tech stack, it can be daunting depending on the size of your business. So there is no shame in starting simple, collecting reviews and using static copy in your emails. And then as you progress and you become more advanced, you start getting into, email strategy 301, 401, then you start working and implementing dynamic content. Make sure your automations are set up, you're making a lot of money, and then you go back and you optimize. But getting something out there first is going to be way, way more effective than, just kind of running through it and getting, freaked out because it's not perfect. So step 3, let's build that loyalty. So again, what's in it for me? Why do I care? So this is free waters. I think we're giving away some prizes today, maybe. I can't remember if we're going to do that or not. We'll pick someone random. I'll send somebody a pair of free water sandals. They're awesome. I wear mine almost daily. I'm in Charleston, so I need them. And so right away, like they have a rewards drop in on their website. It's very clear, like what happens when you become a member. How do I earn more points? Ways to redeem those types of things. And what can I get for them? And so this is actually pulled from their welcome series as well. So they're hitting that loyalty program on all fronts. So here they are. You can earn points on orders, social sharing, leaving reviews, telling a buddy. They do a referral. So if I refer Rachel to buy free water, she buys them, she gets $10 and I get $10. That's awesome, right? And it's going to just start building that continued relationship. People are most excited about a product when they first make that purchase. And so this is when you're going to hit them hard with that loyalty and get them to buy again. So we're going to convert that loyalty. And so here are some automations. These are really terrible screenshots, but I built these from Omnisend and I threw them in because this took me all of like 30 seconds to build. So you get this idea, right? So the segment comes over from Okendo. You got high value customers. Maybe this is my abandoned cart. And very quickly, you kind of start baseline loyalty, right? So if they're in my high value customer, I'm going to treat them as a VIP. I know they're loyal to me. So, hey, they're selling fast. Here's free shipping for our favorite people. And if they're not in my high value, it's, hey, they're selling out. Get it before it's gone. I'm not going to offer free shipping. I don't need to incentivize something if someone's not going to be loyal to me. Reward that loyalty. And then just another example of like, you could do all kinds of things with this in terms of like post-purchase follow-up. So if someone like makes a purchase, and now all of a sudden, we're triggering an order confirmation email. Hey, their segment, they've made it over 1,000 points. So, hey, they're VIP. Here's your Sweet Life exclusive, right? So come back and buy again. We'll give you 20% off. Or, hey, you've got enough points to redeem $10 off your next purchase, or whatever you want to do. If they're not, hey, buy some more stuff. You'll get 2 times the points. Incentivize that buyback purchase and get them to that status as quickly as possible. If you really want to kind of emulate a beautiful loyalty program, look at the airline miles. They've got it down to a science, and people want that status. So how can you emulate that in your own business? There's no greater form of compliment than flattery. And then step 5, do what works. So I pulled this from Omnisend's 2022 email marketing report. And if you notice here, the loyalty things that are at the top, even though these are automations, take a screenshot of this. These are all the automations you should have a goal to set up before Black Friday, Cyber Monday, which is only a few months away. But if you look at the 3 top converting campaigns, the click to conversion rates, it's all about loyalty. Back in stock, hey, we're going to let you know we're going to take care of you. Birthday, super easy loyalty kind of thing to do. Easy way to give people points. Give us your birthday so we can interact with you. And post-purchase follow-up. They've committed to being a customer, so follow up with them. If you're not doing post-purchase follow-ups in terms of like, hey, we hope you love your product, leave a review, come back and buy again, you're missing out on massive amounts of revenue, in addition to abandoned cart, browse abandonment, all those types of things. So this is where you want to put your focus. This is what's going to move that needle and get you increased revenue, and it's all tied to loyalty. So that is everything. So at Omnisend, we're going to increase your sales, not your workload. We're going to take the shortcut to revenue growth with Omnisend. We do email, SMS, and web push notifications. We do have a flash sale because why not? Black Friday in July. Summer Treat 30, you'll get 30% off for 3 months. It must be redeemed by July 28th. But if you have any questions, feel free to look me up. There's not too many Gabe Macalusos on LinkedIn, and I would be happy to chat with you all. So thank you all so very much, and we will pass it off.
Thank you so much, Gabe. Love a Black Friday sale in July.
Yes.
I think we're all talking about it in e-commerce anyway. With that, we'll hand over to you, Ria from Nosto.
Hi, everybody. My name is Ria. Thank you so much, Gabe, for your presentation. And, in the similar vein of like increasing your sales and not your workload, we're going to talk a little bit about personalization on site. I'm the technology partnerships manager at Nosto, and I'm super excited to chat a little bit more about how we can utilize your loyal customers to boost sales. So Nosto is a personalization toolkit, and these are some of the customers we work with. We work with Superdry, Perry Ellis, Figs, Fashion Nova, to name a few. And through this presentation, I'm going to walk you through 3 different examples of how personalization can help create loyal customers and cultivate those relationships to boost sales. So it's really not a surprise that your loyal customers are your best marketing tools as a brand. Word of mouth has always been one of the best ways to market. Think about the last time you bought a shoe or a perfume or even went to a new restaurant. I would say about 70% of the time it's because a friend or a family member told you to do that. But for me, it's definitely like 95% of the time, everything I do is because my friends and family members are trusted advisors in my networks, and they tell me that they had a great experience at this restaurant, or they really wanted to purchase this new shoe and they love it. So, it's really no surprise that your loyal customers are your best marketing tool. And 73% of shoppers also expect you to personalize your website and your shopping experience to their unique needs. It's no longer a nice to have, it's definitely a need to have. So what is Nosto? Nosto is a personalization toolkit that allows you to create customer experiences that are personalized to each unique customer that enters your website. Customers, they need to be heard in a way. Personalization is no longer a want to have, it's a need to have. I've said that a million times. So the way that we work is that we sit right on top of the e-commerce platform where we ingest different types of data, and we start to create segments that allow you to personalize experiences. We crunch that data into our data engine, and we understand a little bit more about them. For example, if your customers are located in New York City, we can then match that to, hey, it's summer in New York City. We don't want to be promoting winter coats at the top of your coats page if you're a clothing brand and you're promoting coats. Maybe you want to be promoting sunglasses or bathing suits instead. So once we have our dynamic targeting in place, we can then action that data through our experience delivery layer where we sell like different kinds of products. So the tech products that we sell are recommendations, content personalization, dynamic bundles, merchandising, and on-site search. In a nutshell, we take high intent data and use it to continuously deliver personalized experiences across the site and the entire lifecycle of a customer. This naturally creates brand loyalty. So the first example we're going to talk about is using on-site search. And cultivating loyal customers starts with being able to anticipate their needs. The easiest way to do that is to not anticipate their needs and let them tell you what they're looking for through on-site search terms. For example, ALC, a premium clothing brand, did exactly that with our personalized on-site search tool. Basically, they were looking for a solution that would allow them to change the way in which products are shown on their search results page for specific customers during specific sessions. So by combining a number of our features, merchandising, scheduling, and on-site search, ALC was able to set up specific ranking rules through their sales periods that would override the rules they have through non-sales periods. And this scheduled rule, combined with higher relevancy through search results, led to a 30% increase in click-through rates and a 2x increase in sales. Sorry, guys, coffee, that kind of thing. So the 2x increase in sales is actually in comparison to the previous solution that they were using, as well as it was over a specified sale period. So it's a really impressive number. The next customer I'm going to talk about is Gorgias. They are a jewelry brand. And basically what they did with Nosto is they utilized our merchandising tool to cultivate brand loyalty and boost sales. They were able to use the merchandising tool to predict likely purchases for customers. And this then enabled them to set up a rule that allowed you to show different products at the top of different category pages to different customers. So for example, if I'm shopping for earrings, but I'm looking specifically for white earrings, I'm going to go to the category page for earrings and see white earrings at the top of that page. And this is especially helpful for brands like Gorgias that have hundreds of different products that they're selling to their customers, because we're cutting down on the time it takes for a consumer to find what they're looking for. In the case that a customer doesn't know what they're looking for and they're just kind of browsing, we're also encouraging them to spend more time at our store instead of going to a different store by trying to show them things that we think they would like. So they saw a 3.46% increase in conversion by utilizing the merchandising tool and kind of showing their customers that we hear them and we are trying to tailor the website to what they like, and therefore utilizing that loyalty to increase sales. The last example I'm going to talk about is one of my favorites because I'm a loyal shopper at Princess Polly and I get to experience this firsthand. This particular example was set up by one of our CSMs at Nosto to kind of create a more inclusive shopping experience. Princess Polly sells thousands of different products. They've got different sizes, they have different colors, SKUs, and it's all kinds of clothing, accessories, handbags, purses, whatever you need. So basically what Princess Polly did is they launched a plus size shopping experience for customers who have previously purchased in the plus size category. They did this initially through category pages and product pages. So basically when you clicked on a product, like a t-shirt or a bathing suit, you were seeing the plus size model instead of the other model if you were identified as a purchaser of plus size clothing. They saw a ton of engagement with this. So they wanted to kind of bring it to the forefront of the experience for their plus size shoppers. And they created this homepage experience that you can see on the slide over here, where they had a content banner on the top that showed promotions for their plus size customers. And this led to a 4.5% increase in post-click conversion rates, which is huge. And it also speaks to the brand itself being a little bit more inclusive and having a better experience for their customers. So, in conclusion, it's no surprise that loyal customers will create better experience. Loyal customers will boost sales for you. And by creating more thoughtful experiences, you can utilize these customers to be super fans, just like Rachel said. So before I hand it over, I really want to mention that Nosto is not a true SaaS solution. When you buy Nosto, you're also buying our expertise. Our CSMs work really closely with each brand to cultivate experiences that are unique to each of the consumers that those brands work with. And if you're interested in learning more, I'm going to drop my email in the chat and I'll hand it over to Alex from Gorgias. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Ria. That was great. I love that Princess Polly example. It's such a clever way of doing things and the results are so powerful. So thank you for sharing that.
For sure. Thank you.
And I'm a big Gorgias fan too. I'm wearing a necklace right now.
Good.
All right, Alex,
Thanks.
over to you.
Great. Yeah, thanks everyone. So great to have you all on today. If you do have questions while I go through, do please add them to the live chat. I've got it open. So happy to answer on the fly as well. By introduction, I'm Alex Bogie. I'm a technology partnerships manager at Gorgias, and I'm really happy to share some insights today of what we've seen from the help desk support side of things, of how we're working with merchants to help drive not only acquiring customers, but building loyal customers as well. For those of you who may not know about Gorgias, Gorgias is the #1 help desk platform for e-commerce merchants globally. We work with over 12,000 companies today across Shopify, BigCommerce, and Magento, and really any company from brands starting out in their e-commerce journey all the way through to large enterprise. To start, I think it's nice to kind of take a step back and really look. We've been talking a lot today about building customer loyalty and the importance of it. I think this visual does a really good job of just at a high level explaining how big it is for the e-commerce companies we're working with today. We've done a lot of surveys of the brands we work with, and at a very high level, if you think about only 21% of all your customers will be repeat customers back to your store, so buying 1, 2, 3, 4 plus times, but they make up close to half of all your revenue, right? So getting this piece correct is critical. In fact, we've done some other research showing that if you can get a brand or a customer to buy from you up to 4 plus times, they actually become profitable to you. So we'll talk about acquiring customers, but also how to get them loyal to you and coming back to buy more. If we think of this in another way, repeat customers generate more than 300% above and beyond revenue than a first-time brand. So we'll talk about some strategies we're working with customers today on to make this happen. Now, I think this is probably something we can all relate to. We understand the importance of driving loyal customers, but we all have probably horror stories we can share of challenges we faced, right, interacting with a brand, whether it's waiting for a response, you send an email, never hear back, a phone call where you're with an airline or someone where you're waiting hours on hold, never hearing anything back, really frustrating experiences, right? So combine wait times with a lack of personalization, or maybe no responses at all, whether it's through email, a phone call, a social media post you send out. It creates a really challenging customer experience, and that bad first impression will push people away from your store buying at all. But what we're also seeing is it's not just challenges on the customer side that are creating really hard cases of acquiring customers. It's also the merchants themselves that are seeing a lot of challenges with this, right? It's missed sales opportunities. So it's customers coming, having a bad experience, leaving, telling their friends, now they're not coming to your store as well. But it's also really inefficient usage of labor, support teams, and technology costs behind the scenes. So it could be support teams getting inundated with questions and queries that could be automated to free them up dealing with higher case issues. It can also be a case of you're missing whole conversations because your brand isn't set up on the channels where people are asking questions or wanting to learn more about how they can buy products from you. A great way of looking at this, I think this is probably common to most people on the call today, is just driving a really personalized experience to start will create 80% more likelihood that a brand you're going to purchase from a brand, right? So make it relevant to them. Don't just offer up a generic email. Don't offer up just a generic response back to a support question. Try and include some information that personalizes it. Have they bought from you before? Do you know their name? Have they shown interest in certain products that you could perhaps send loyalty discounts on? And then also think about the importance of how quickly you can respond to these customers. And we'll talk a little bit about how automation is playing a big part in some case studies on this today. So we understand some of the challenges for both customers and merchants, but what can you do? How can you go about not only acquiring customers for your brand, but keeping them? And really, with a lot of the merchants we're working with, I've got a link here to a wider article on this, but I think the first place to start and really a great entry into this is building that really good first impression with your customers. And from the support and help desk perspective, this is done in a few ways. It's building out a really great help center, and it's building out a really good frequently asked questions page as well. And by this, I mean creating easy to answer questions around, how do I make a purchase? What is my return policy? Can I get a refund if the product doesn't fit or it's damaged? If you take the burdens away of challenges a customer might have or apprehensions they might have to buy from you, it makes that first purchase decision a lot easier for these customers. We see a lot of companies now also serving up a live chat experience on their website or mobile site as well. So this comes back to this idea of personalization. Create a really good first impression by offering up a live chat experience. Say something about them. Hey, Black Friday, Cyber Monday is coming up. Here's some promotions we're running. Hey, we see you bought from us before. Here's some things. Welcome back. Leverage additional channels for your brand. So if you're today only working on a website or email, think about bringing in live chat. Think about adding social media channels for your merchant brand, right? It's this idea of not just being proactive on one or two channels. It's about being everywhere that your customer is and answering questions in the times that they need them. When we take this proactive approach, it also creates a great channel for building up that model around developing loyal and returning customers. So you can use these same channels to present loyalty discounts on next purchases, let them know about upcoming campaigns that you're running, create reasons for them to come back and shop with you more. There's a few different ways customers are doing this today with Gorgias, whether it's building out the full omni-channel timeline view of seeing where your customers are. So if it's social, email, mobile, and more, make it easy to see where those conversations are happening and make it fast and relevant to respond back to those customers through those channels. Free up the bandwidth for your agents if you have a lean sales team and support team as well. Take advantage of automating a lot of these questions as well. This is a huge thing we see a lot of brands struggle with is, it could be as many as 35% of all your questions are very common, right? Where is my order? How do I make a refund? How do I track the shipping on this offer I just bought? A lot of these questions can be automated. And this gets back to this challenge we're all seeing of long lead times and getting a response and personalizing that experience as well. So if you automate a lot of this process, you're going to see higher conversions of customers, and you're going to have a happier support team as well to deal with bigger issues that they need to personalize. Last piece I will leave here before I get into a case study is just understand your customers better the minute they reach out. So if they are coming back to your store and engaging, you can use some great integrations with Shopify and with Okendo and more to personalize that experience further. Can we see if they've left a positive review? Can we see if they made a purchase with our brand before? Can we see if they're waiting on an order? All of these different data points will help you personalize how you reply back to that customer and keep them engaged with your brand. I'll leave with a great case study. I've included a link to the full story here, but for those who don't know, Brewmate is a provider of coolers and high-end drinkware that has been working with Gorgias, and they've really done a great job of taking their customer support team and building out really good help centers and FAQ pages to drive this idea of proactive engagement with customers to get them buying. And they've done an amazing job of taking what's traditionally been a cost center team and now using them to drive revenue. And they've now done over $9 million in sales with just their support team alone. So there's big value in getting this right. If you do have questions about this, it's a lot of content to go through quite quickly. Please do feel free to reach out to me. I'll include my email here. Happy to answer any questions you may have. If you want to book a demo, similar to what Rachel's doing at Okendo, we're also doing a promotion to get you access to the platform in 2 months free. So I've included the QR code here, but really appreciate the time and thanks for coming out, everyone.
Thank you very much, Alex. I think that piece on automation and having that really kind of level up your customer experience is so good. And then leveraging your agents to drive more revenue for the brand. Super strong strategies there. So thank you for sharing that. And up next, we have Andrew from Ordergroove. Over to you, Andrew.
Yeah, thank you. Hopefully everybody can hear me okay and see the screen. Getting a thumbs up, so we're off to a good start. We are first and foremost a subscription platform. I'll get into that, but we sit right at the heart of this mission of getting the most out of your loyal customers. Just some quick housekeeping up front. hi@ordergroove.com if you want to get in touch with us. You can also find us on social media. I'm happy to answer questions myself. Actually, Gabe, I'm in Charleston as well. So if you want to meet up at a coffee shop and talk loyalty, we can do that. We're always happy to talk in the ecosystem, or to any of you out there listening that want to get to know Ordergroove. So today's agenda, I will spend a few minutes just high level on what we do, how we're positioned, and then as a broader market analysis, where do subscriptions fit in today's market, and in particular, how do they help drive more value from your highly loyal customers, and then dive into a case study with Fortuna Skin, where they really saw some great results with our platform. So first, meeting Ordergroove. Relationship commerce. This is the umbrella that we use for our go-to-market, and it's around developing a deeper relationship with your customers and allowing them to interact with your brand on an ongoing manner in the most frictionless way possible. So rather than needing to drive them back to the storefront every time they want to make a purchase, give them a way that is easier for them to stay connected and get more orders from your store. Of course, subscriptions is an obvious way to do that, but we also have capabilities such as being able to reorder a product that you've purchased in the past, even if you aren't necessarily subscribed to it. You can also think of like memberships and clubs. There's a lot of different ways to engage your loyal customers, in addition to kind of the standard physical product subscription model. So we've been doing this for 10 plus years. We are platform agnostic, so lots and lots of customers on Shopify, but work across other e-commerce platforms as well, always natively integrated into your storefront and checkout. So you never have to leave the store to make a subscription purchase. Everything happens on your domain, on your store, as it does today, and really work with a lot of brands of different sizes across a lot of different industries. I certainly won't go through everybody here. I noticed a lot of shared customers with some of the other presenters, and a lot of different verticals represented on our platform. So how do subscriptions fit into today's market? As others have touched on, the competition is higher than ever. You're probably seeing increased CAC, customer acquisition costs, for every checkout, every customer on your site. It's because of the competition. It's also because of changes to third-party data. It's getting really, really expensive to get customers to check out, up to even 60% more than what you were seeing a couple of years ago. And it's what most of the customers that I talk to on our platform cite as like their number one concern. And really your best and sometimes only option to combat increased acquisition costs is an increase in lifetime value to offset those costs. And subscription is at the heart of that mission. Really, when you get a subscriber compared to a one-time purchaser, you're going to see a much higher lifetime value by building an ongoing relationship with that customer. In addition, loyalty is weak. So even if you are able to acquire a customer, 76% of customers are saying that they'll take their business elsewhere. They're not going to be loyal necessarily to a given brand unless you really put in that effort to maintain the relationship with that customer. And what that relationship means is it really needs to be personalized. You can't use a one-size-fits-all approach for every customer on your store. You need to deliver a personalized experience for them to stick around with you in the long haul. And customers are frustrated when that doesn't happen. So it's not, as others have said, it's not just like a nice to have for a personalized experience. Your customers will leave if they're not feeling that love from your brand. So I want to dive into a case study here with Fortuna Skin that will really highlight some of the capabilities on the platform and how we are positioned to help our merchants grow their subscriber base and ultimately therefore their lifetime value. Fortuna Skin, if you're not aware, is a luxury skincare brand. They actually launched pretty recently, super fast growing brand, and had developed a really strong loyal customer base. And they knew that subscriptions was going to be a big piece of their operation from the start. The problem that they were experiencing is with the provider that they were using, they weren't able to offer the subscription experience that they wanted to. This had to do with the UX on the site. So with Ordergroove, you're really able to provide a customized and tailored experience to your subscribers, who are your most valuable customers. Fortuna didn't feel like they were able to do that on their existing providers, so they reached out to Ordergroove to help first and foremost with the experience. And another key requirement that they mentioned to us was around integrating with their loyalty program. So you can't have just a bespoke model of, hey, I do 3 different strategies and I kind of just throw them at the wall to see what sticks. You need to have subscriptions tied into loyalty, tied into marketing. You need to campaign and talk to your subscribers differently than you do your one-time customers. And with Ordergroove, we were able to fully integrate into their loyalty platform and really make it a cohesive experience. So you can think about things like, make sure that on your subscription orders, you're still earning loyalty points, but it goes beyond that as well. You need to be able to redeem loyalty points against a future subscription purchase. All of that is super easy on Ordergroove's platform and was able to really bring Fortuna's subscription experience to the next level. And as I mentioned again, really an enhanced UX that was able to keep their subscribers engaged after that initial sign up. So really the way we think about the world at Ordergroove is you have to enroll your subscriber, retain your subscriber, and then also grow the average basket size of your subscriptions. We were able to provide capabilities for Fortuna that really hit on all 3 of those areas, ultimately resulting in the lifetime value increase that you saw. Some details on how they got to that outcome. It was a 100% increase in their loyalty program, 103% increase in their subscriber base within 3 months of launching with our platform. Again, keeping that subscriber base isn't just about enrollment, it's also about decreasing churn. In fact, most subscription programs at maturity, a 1 or 2% tweak in your retention rate is actually much more powerful than a larger increase in your enrollment rate, because once you're at scale, you really need to focus on keeping every customer that you can in the program. And ultimately that increase led to a doubling of their subscription revenue on Ordergroove's platform compared to what they were seeing previously. So what are the takeaways from this? You have to nail the experience, and that includes, as I talked about, integrating loyalty and marketing and all of your communications into your subscription program. And it also means making it super easy for your customers. It seems counterintuitive to give customers the ability to skip a subscription order because that's delayed revenue. But in the long run, that will be very beneficial for you from a lifetime value perspective. 135%. Customers will last 135% longer if they have an easy way to skip the order than if you make that difficult on your site. Same thing with switching from one product to another. I'm sick of the chocolate protein, I want to switch to vanilla. If you can make that easier, you're going to see a much longer relationship with that customer. Last slide here, some other interesting use cases. I actually think some of my teammates are going to drop some of these case studies into the chat, so keep an eye out and we can share those as a follow-up as well. With Risk Mafia, they increased lifetime value 100% by offering prepaid subscriptions. So not only allowing customers to subscribe to a product and pay for each order individually, but being able to prepay upfront really guarantees revenue for your brand and increases the lifetime value of that subscriber. And then it's not just about discounting. So prepay is a great way to give additional discount to your customers, but Shinesty and CB Distillery also go beyond that to offer VIP experiences, exclusive content, and other ways of making those subscribers really feel like they're benefiting from being a part of the program. Again, keep an eye out in the chat for some case studies across these 3 Ordergroove customers. Feel free to email me. Feel free to email hi@ordergroove.com or reach out to us. And happy to dive into any of this in more detail. Hopefully you learned something today, and I think Tyler, you are up next.
Thank you so much, Andrew. You got it. Tyler from Daasity is up next, but yeah, really valuable insight there on the subscription piece. There's really no better way to increase customer lifetime value than to get those customers into a subscription. So thank you for that, Andrew. And Tyler, I'll hand over to you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Really excited to be here. So for those of you not familiar with Daasity, we're a modular data platform built for consumer product brands and retailers. Unfortunately, Philip, don't know if we're going to be a great fit for your real estate business, but excited to chat with a lot of the brands here today and be alongside some really great partners. So as a data platform, Naturally, today in our presentation, we're going to talk a lot about data and how to leverage data to find your most loyal customers. So before we dive in, quick background, housekeeping, so on. My background, similar to Rachel, have been in the e-commerce space for the better part of a decade, going back to kind of my early starts in the space. Worked at a rewards and loyalty platform, Smile.io, way back when, and then spent a number of years at Shopify working with some of the fastest growing brands and retailers in the world. So throughout the conversation today, going to have Jenna and a few of my teammates in the chat. If you have any questions, they're going to be sharing some really great tidbits as we go along, but we're really here to support and talk about how to leverage data to increase customer loyalty. So at Daasity, we really operate as the system of record for all things data for some of the world's fastest growing omnichannel brands. For most of these brands, they're dealing with disparate data from across their business. I'm sure a lot of the folks here that are watching, your data lives across all different types of technologies. And I think everyone touched on today about how data is incorporated in their solutions. This could be living in your e-com platform, your point of sale and retail systems, email, SMS platforms like Omnisend, customer service tools like Gorgias. What we're really focused on for brands is consolidating that and give them a central place where they can leverage these insights. And for a lot of these folks, data architecture can take plenty of different shapes. And historically, most brands have relied on building complex stacks that often takes months to deploy and hundreds of thousands of dollars to implement, and honestly aren't really optimized for direct consumer omnichannel brands. What we've built as a modular data platform is, again, a way to focus on consolidation, being able to pull from the most prominent sources within a brand's stack, sales channels, loading that into a warehouse, building really comprehensive data models, then putting it into the visualization tools that most folks are comfortable with. And then again, the big thing is being able to actually leverage that data and push it back out for folks to actually utilize. So we're going to look at some use cases today. I really want to make sure that folks in the session are able to take something that they're able to action. So building on Rachel's presentation, talking about survey data and how brands are leveraging this to build brand advocacy. So leveraging survey data can be one of the most impactful ways to understand your customers and understand not only the who, but the how, the why, and if they're even purchasing for themselves or for someone else. As a brand, the name of the game is to maximize LTV, but it's important to understand your consumers and their behavior. Understanding who someone is for purchasing is so valuable. You can start by catering your messaging around gifting and making sure you're giving them enough time for planning if they're, again, purchasing for a friend or family member. And especially important when we start to think about BFCM. I know folks have kind of dropped that hint in here today, but ultimately the data gathered during surveys is great and it's going to help inform your strategies around marketing, competitive intelligence, but also open doors for customer feedback. And the biggest thing when building loyalty is ultimately just building relationships with your consumers. These are going to be great tactics in theory, but as a brand, thinking a little bit more about action and how we kind of tie together this ecosystem. So now that you've got the data from your surveys and have unified it with all your other data sources, now it's time to actually put that consolidated data into action. Brands using Daasity, we've often seen through that data consolidation, build stronger segmentation and are able to push it to the right channels at the right times. So being able to push audiences and segmentation to SMS platforms like Attentive or Klaviyo, or be able to think about some of your performance marketing channels like Meta, Google, or TikTok. Beyond survey data, brands can start to think a little bit more critically about LTV and repeat purchase insights. And this is one of the core pillars that we often see brands leverage within our platform. For a lot of folks, it's ultimately going to be that North Star metric that a lot of folks are leaning on. But what data can be leveraged to get customers to purchase again and lead to a great lifetime value? So LTV can seem like it can be pretty cut and dry, but it starts to get interesting when you start to analyze data around the items customers are purchasing first and where they're coming from. One of the incredible brands we work with, Harper Wilde, discovered that customers who actually ordered one of their non-underwire bras had higher LTVs than those who bought bras with underwire first. As a brand, when you start to think upstream, this then starts to inform my marketing strategy. What products am I going to push? If I'm Nosto, like thinking about personalization, what am I surfacing at the top of my landing pages to ensure that we're driving customers to convert and knowing that they're going to ultimately lead to higher lifetime value? For channel strategy, understanding lifetime value by first order channel is table stakes in 2023. You might find that customers acquired through channel A actually contribute more gross margin throughout their lifetime than a customer who's maybe purchased through channel B. Meaning, well, revenue and ROAS numbers might make channel B look more successful. It's actually the channel A customers that are worth a greater investment and spending a little bit more time on. One of the big topics that we hear for a lot of direct consumer brands is D2C versus marketplace. How should I be investing in these channels? And strategies and viability are going to really vary brand by brand. But if you're selling on Amazon, use it to your advantage. A lot of folks think of it as the big kind of 800-pound gorilla in the room and are afraid to go up against Amazon. Use it as leverage. Hook your customers with your evergreen products and direct them towards your direct consumer channels where you're able to focus on building consumer relationships and offering loyalty through great customer service with Gorgias, product exclusivity, but again, leverage the things that make your business unique. That is what is going to set you apart, and use channels like Amazon and other marketplaces to your advantage. So now that we've spent enough time talking about kind of LTV and first order channel and so on, let's talk about getting customers back to actually drive that. So now that you understand lifetime value by first order SKU or channel, you've got the opportunity to double down on all the things that you make your business unique. If we're collecting survey data, we can understand who they're shopping for, what they love most about your brand, and where they came from. Capitalize on the channels that are most profitable and lead to the highest LTV, and talk to your customers like you know them. This is what sets apart good brands from great brands. Rather than having a generic experience, customers want to feel like you know them, and that's what's going to build brand loyalty. And a really great way to do that is leverage segmentation and give them a reason to purchase again using their behaviors and customer insights. This is a really valuable time to leverage product affinity to also make those suggestions. So you're not just coming back and saying, hey, purchase our products because we know you love us, or you're purchasing for a family member, but talk to them like you know them, and leverage the types of insights that your products are telling you as well. Again, which products are often purchased together or often the same carts. So this can help inform different types of strategies as it comes to subscriptions with Ordergroove. But again, customers really feel or become loyal when they feel like they're understood. As a brand, you've got a unique opportunity to understand the trends and identify high value purchase opportunities by focusing on things like bundles, upsells, and even when to communicate with customers, which I'm sure Gabe and the team over at Omnisend are really, really leaning into. This visualization here that we're showcasing shows us the data between first and second order. This can help shape your subscription strategy with Ordergroove and better map out the intervals at which orders are auto shipped based on consumer behavior, or allow you to send the right message at the perfect time with Omnisend. You really, really want data to inform the strategies you go to market with and how you speak to your customers. These are just a few of the use cases with Daasity. Can talk about data and different strategies till we're all blue in the face, but I know we've got time restrictions here. But before I wrap up, just going to walk through a few customer stories and how we worked with two really incredible brands, Carpe and Caraway. So working with Carpe, we were able to save them dozens of hours a week on manual data work, which is far more common than you think. I think most folks we talk to are talking about the hours that they're spending in spreadsheets or all the different solutions that they have in place, and they're just trying to stitch everything together. The quote here from Curtis really, really kind of stands true to what we see with a lot of brands, is that it's easier to describe what they don't use Daasity for. Just because we're so ingrained across their entire stack and working across marketing, operations, logistics, sales, whatever it may be. With Carpe specifically, through automated data analysis, they were able to identify a significant fulfillment overcharge, and ultimately a great example of leveraging data across the entire business that isn't just focusing on buying ads or marketing, which I know is a huge topic when it comes to data and what most folks typically lean on. Shifting gears to Caraway, incredible home goods brand. Definitely recommend checking them out. Josh and the team are fantastic. But Caraway leveraged Daasity to launch a new product line. I think why this is really interesting is they're not just using us for insights on their current business, but how they can inform the direction of where Caraway was actually heading. They were able to improve gross margins and increase their blended ROAS by 10% by focusing on high-performing channels and doubling down where they were most successful. So they weren't just throwing something at the wall that seeing what was sticking, but again, leveraging what their business was telling them and doubling down on what actually worked. And what I love most, and kind of the whole ethos of this session today, is they listen to their customers. They understood where they were at and where they want to go, and we're able to double down on the products that we're going to ultimately build more customer loyalty. So again, one of the really great stories that we're able to help support. And again, when it comes to customer loyalty, there's a ton of facets of where data is captured and where insights become critical for growth. If there are any questions on how you can better leverage your data as a business, we'd love to chat. Feel free to reach out in the chat. My email is just tyler@daasity.com, and we love to chat. But again, thank you so much for having us.
Thank you so much, Tyler. And I love that quote from Carpe, that it's easier to say what we don't use Daasity for. Now,
Totally,
last but not least,
Put that
John
everywhere.
from Tapcart. Thank you.
Wonderful. Nice to see everyone. Thank you for the time. Some great insights and truly a case study for how data flows and how your tech stack can work together to inform better business decisions here. But we don't have too much time, so we can go ahead and dive in. So John Nutt, Senior Technology Partner Manager at Tapcart. For those unfamiliar, Tapcart is the leading mobile commerce solution, powering some of the great Shopify Plus brands that are out there. So from Ruggable to Fashion Nova, Princess Polly, just to name a few, we help brands translate their most loyal, most valuable customers into a stickier mobile app where we're able to leverage push notifications and have a really meaningful spot for the bulk of customers that are shopping on mobile anyway. So just to dive in, we are a globally served company. So we have customers all across the globe, but we also just rolled out a Shopify Markets integration, which is able to let us localize based on where your customers are shopping. So that's localizing currency and localizing language as well. We've done over $2 billion in merchant GMV across the globe and over 17 million orders processed here. So why mobile? I'm sure we all have our phone about 4 feet away from us. I know I woke up this morning from an alarm clock that was in an app. I walked to the gym using Spotify, which is also an app. I checked into Equinox, which was also via an app, right? So everything we do on our phones is in an app. And yet we've oftentimes relied on our customers to be leveraging mobile browsers to be able to shop with us, which is a less optimized experience. So what we're seeing is that almost 80% of e-commerce traffic is coming from a mobile device, right? Which has obviously been trending upwards over the past several years. Not only this, but we're seeing the total number of worldwide mobile users increasing year over year, the total mobile commerce spend increasing, and also the amount of time that sadly we're spending using our mobile devices as well. And like I mentioned, oftentimes this is a low converting place for customers to be shopping due to the fact that it's not a signed in experience, right? It's oftentimes you have lots of form fields, you're filling your address out for the umpteenth time, and that could potentially lead to an abandoned cart and thus a low conversion rate, right? Through having a dedicated mobile app, Princess Polly is a customer that we've talked about a good amount today. I'll continue to talk about them in this particular moment. You're able to have a dedicated owned marketing channel built for engagement. So what that means is that we're seeing that our brands are thinking of their dedicated mobile app as another cog on the owned marketing flywheel. So you have your email, your SMS through solutions like Omnisend and Klaviyo, and you also have your dedicated mobile app, right? You own what messaging is getting sent out to customers. You own the push notifications that are being sent, and you have more control. And what that ultimately leads us to is that you have an increase in the opportunities or the sessions that customers are actually shopping with you, right? That's 2 to 3x more lifetime value for your most engaged customers, that 20 to 30% that are actually going to be leveraging the app. And just to give you a little bit of insight into what that translates to, if you were, let's say you have about 600,000 customers, if you're able to convert just 10% of those into the app, that translates to, again, that on average that we're seeing 3x increase in session. You're seeing the average order value tick up. This translates to a pretty substantial amount of increase in revenue, right? Just for this first year on estimate, we're anticipating that this brand's going to see a 20% lift in sales by launching a dedicated mobile app. And this isn't something that takes 9 to 12 months, right? Our average time to market is just 21 days. So from not having a mobile app to having a dedicated mobile app that's inside of the Apple and the Android store is on average about 21 days. So a pretty incredible turnaround time. And again, just the ROI from being able to do something like a mobile app through Tapcart is pretty substantial. And just to kind of reiterate some of that as well, these are two different customers that have gone live with us in the past 30 days. And this is just some of the stats that they've been able to see. So on the first day of launch for this customer, they had 16,273 app downloads, right? That to me is that customers are ready and excited to be able to leverage and to be able to shop on a dedicated mobile app. And this just shows you just the impact of being able to launch that. If you're worried about, will my customers be able to come? We have plenty of tools. We have an entire agency program that's dedicated to making sure you can get this in front of your customers. And ultimately, we take what you're doing well in your own marketing channels like email and SMS, and we say, hey, come to a more highly converting channel. But again, we're not replacing any of those channels. We're one of the cogs on the flywheel here. I mean, another incredible stat here, over $600,000 in revenue just in the first 30 days of launch for this new customer as well. So pretty staggering what folks are able to do, and the time to value is almost nothing. And ultimately, we have plenty of ways we can help you to be able to drive folks to the app, right? Think about dedicated in-app products. We have plenty of customers that do this really well. You know, certain flavors of protein are only available in-app. You know, certain styles of clothing or certain products altogether are only available in-app. You can leverage exclusive discounts and rewards for your most loyal customers. Early access to new products, right? We're edging on the point of membership, right? Getting folks excited about being a part of an exclusive group. And again, that content and that sense of community that an app is really, really good at. Your mobile phone is frankly a pretty intimate space. It's where your grandmother texts you. It's where you engage with all the music you listen to. Maybe you write on your notes when things pop into your head throughout the day. And you're also shopping from the stores and from the brands that you want to shop at as well. So I wanted to dive into a few case studies. I know we're frankly 5 minutes over, but I appreciate everyone sticking with us. On the Your Super front, if you're unfamiliar, Your Super is an incredible brand. I actually worked with this brand back when I was at ShipBob many, many years ago. So it's been fun to watch their growth. And they had a fairly similar predicament that others had. They had over 260,000 loyal Instagram followers, and they wanted to have a place for them to shop where they could realize the subscription power inside of a dedicated mobile app. And so by being able to launch with Tapcart, Your Super, again, in the first 90 days, 26,000 app downloads. The number of folks that repeat converted with them was 31%. And they were really impressed mostly with being able to have no app and then a full-blown app launch all within 5 weeks, right? So in terms of getting a few different growth levers set up before Black Friday, Cyber Monday, there's an excellent opportunity for you to consider mobile commerce and consider Tapcart as a great way to be able to see that lift in revenue that I'm sure you have slotted for some goals around Black Friday, Cyber Monday. And just one more case study here. This is another brand of ours, Primitive Skate. And in terms of the increase in conversion, right? Being able to see that incremental revenue, that incremental sessions per user. They're seeing almost 2x higher conversion rate in app than mobile, right? If you could 2x your conversion rate on any channel, that would be pretty exciting, right? And in terms of in-app revenue increase versus mobile, they're seeing about 1.6 as well. We have plenty of case studies. We just came out with a few new from True Classic. We have one from Obvi that just came out yesterday. Some incredible direct-to-consumer leaders are really excited about Tapcart. And frankly, it was the reason that I joined the team about 6 months ago as well. So if you want to learn more about how we're helping brands like Truff and Princess Polly be able to see some pretty substantial growth, feel free to email me. We do have 2 months free Tapcart, and we'll actually design the app free for you as well for all new customers. So I really appreciate the time. Thanks for letting me run a little bit over. I'll go ahead and slap this offer right here in the chat and look forward to connecting with you all soon.
Thank you so much, John. Now that concludes our programming for today. I'd like to say a big thank you to each of our speakers for sharing their insights, and thank you to everyone who joined along. We will be sending out a recording within the next 24 hours. And if you have any other questions that pop up, please don't hesitate to reach out to me or to any of the other speakers today. Hope everyone has a great rest of their Wednesday, and we'll see you soon. Thanks, everyone.